Tonight, the little girl from Woking who didn't stand a chance. Sara Sharif was murdered by her father and stepmother, but a report lists a series of devastating failures by police, the courts and the council. Its staff went to the wrong home address. One day later, she was dead. We'll hear from Surrey Council on the steps it's taking to fix the broken system that failed Sara so badly. Also tonight. Electric cars will face the congestion charge for the first time from January. Owners say the incentive to go green has gone. The £2 million robot transforming cancer surgery in the capital, paid for entirely by public donations. And
this is one of the very latest pictures of a couple of galaxies in deep space.
the rock star taking us into space. How Sir Brian May is revealing new dimensions of our universe. Good evening. 10-year-old Sara Sharif was murdered after a system set up to protect her failed her time and time again. That's the summary of a safeguarding review that puts several services under the microscope to understand why the little girl from Woking was failed so badly when the warning signs were there. The lion's share of the blame lies at the feet of Surrey County Council, who just one day before Sara was killed sent a social worker to the wrong address. Its chief executive has apologised profusely and says work has been ongoing to make sure the tragedy is not repeated. Helen Keenan reports.
The warning signs were there, but Sara Sharif was failed by the system supposed to protect children.
I killed my daughter. I killed my daughter. My daughter is dead. I panic and left her.
Who's killed your daughter?
It's me.
Okay.
The father.
How?
The 10-year-old had been hooded, burned and beaten with a cricket bat before her father and stepmother murdered her. Authorities have today been criticised in an independent report, stating there were clearly several points in Sara's life where different actions could and should have been taken by them. The Child Safeguarding Practice Review found multiple agencies failed to grasp the full scale of the danger Sara was facing after her injuries had been reported, that her father and stepmother were a lethal combination, and that Sara's voice, expressed through her change in demeanour, was not heard. The review added that good practice was not followed when Sara was withdrawn from school to be educated at home. Council staff did try to check on Sara the day before she was murdered, but they never ended up visiting her home here in Woking because they went to the wrong address. Staff realised their mistake when they went back to the office, but they rescheduled a visit for the following month. She died the next day.
We will fully implement those recommendations where we haven't already done so, and we have already moved to improve our services. The report's very clear that the people that are responsible for the trauma that Sara suffered and ultimately her murder are in prison where they should be. The report's also clear that there were actions that could and should have been taken by this organisation, and they weren't, and for that I profoundly apologise.
It was also found it was not properly investigated why Sara started wearing a hijab, despite no one else in her family doing so. It later emerged she wore it to hide her injuries. The review looked into the handling of Sara's care by services including police, health, social care and education.
Lack of professional curiosity, where the colleagues who are investigating it don't take into account or maybe take things at face value, in the sense of him approaching elective home education and other agencies as well. Lack of information sharing, and again the whole country is disjointed around sharing information from different local authorities. So in knowing he had a history of domestic abuse, were they aware of that at that time in the decision making going forward?
How alarmed were you when you saw those findings?
I was disappointed and horrified because of the severity of the harm that she'd been through, in the sense of how intense it was. There was lots of warning signs along the way.
Now there are calls for senior council officers to answer questions in Parliament.
Currently got an organisation, Surrey County Council, that should be protecting vulnerable children, and they have failed Zara, and I'm worried they're going to fail other children as well. I think the government needs to step in and put Surrey County Council's children's social services into special measures.
Sara Sharif and Bainash Batul are both serving prison sentences for her murder. Sara's uncle imprisoned for causing or allowing her death. Now a string of recommendations have been made over the multiple missed opportunities to protect Sara. Helen Keenan, ITV News.
A British Transport Police officer has avoided jail after being convicted of assaulting a child in North London by putting her in a headlock. Olivia Guthrie is at Westminster Magistrates Court for us now. And Olivia, what happened in court?
Well, PC Adrian Young was sentenced to a 12-month community order and given a fine of nearly £1,000. The judge sparing him jail because she said he'd shown remorse and had a nearly 20-year good service in the police. The 48-year-old assaulted a 15-year-old girl at Camden Road train station last September. He got her in a headlock as he detained her for failing to buy a ticket. Her friend tried to fight him off, and he then later held her by the throat against a ticket machine, something the defence admitted was excessive force. Now, PC Young was convicted here at Westminster Magistrates Court last month after a two-day trial. He's currently suspended from duty, and today the Independent Office for Police Conduct said that he must now face a gross misconduct hearing because of a breach of standards. They issued a statement saying police officers are permitted to use force during their duties, however it must be reasonable and proportionate in the circumstances. The conviction and sentencing of PC Young demonstrates that officers who abuse their powers by using unlawful force will be held to account, and there can be serious consequences. And now that PC Young's trial has come to an end, police say that his disciplinary hearing will take place as soon as possible.
Olivia, thank you. Policing bosses in the home counties will be removed from their roles after the government's decision to scrap police and crime commissioners. The PCCs for Hertfordshire, Thames Valley, Surrey, Essex and Kent are among the 37 elected commissioners in England and Wales that will be removed by 2028 in a bid to generate an extra £20 million a year for frontline services. And journalist Sami Hamdi has returned to his family in London after being detained by American immigration enforcement for 2 weeks. He was on a speaking tour of the US when he was taken into custody for allegedly posing a threat to national security. His lawyers argue that he was targeted for criticising Israel's actions in Gaza. Now, for the capital's motorists, New Year means new charges. From January, cars of all kinds will be subject to the congestion charge when City Hall hikes the price for petrol and diesel drivers and lifts the exemption for electric vehicles. Those who've made the switch to electric cars say the incentive has been lost for others to go green, as the cost to drive through central London goes from nothing to almost £14 overnight. Graham Stothard reports.
If you pay to drive in London from January the 2nd, you will pay more. And for the first time, driving an electric car, van or lorry won't save you. The congestion charge is going up, so traffic goes down. TfL say it will see around 2,200 fewer vehicles in the charge zone come your average weekday. Londoners we spoke to today weren't impressed.
It already cost me a shed load to get into town. So, it's just more costs that get piled on.
That's just crazy. I don't understand why.
That's not right. That is not right.
Their sentiments were echoed by the Conservatives in City Hall.
This is just another attack on Londoners, drivers and small businesses across the capital. It's going to further fuel the cost of living crisis that we're experiencing at the moment, and this is all about raising money, not about any environmental improvements.
The change will see the charge for petrol and diesel cars go up to £18. The electric exemption exchanged for a discount. 25% for electric cars will see them charged £13.50. 50% for electric vans and lorries will see them carry a £9 cost. First introduced in 2003, the daily rate for cars was a £5. By 2020, it was 15. This is just the latest increase.
It's really important that in central London we make sure that it's a really pleasant, safe, attractive environment for people walking and cycling. It's one of the best connected places in the world. It's a lower than inflation increase, but it's going to make sure that we keep traffic and congestion managed in that area.
But there's criticism it will affect businesses. Matt, who runs I Hate Ironing, hates the changes as well, and having invested in an electric fleet, feels cheated.
We're proud to be doing our bit for the environment, but the incentives that we were offered in terms of not having to pay congestion fees was really big for our business. With 15 vans going into the city every day, it's something like £4,000 a month extra that we're going to have to pay now.
Wider environmental groups say it's broadly a good thing.
We have to tackle traffic to get a grip on our climate goals and our air pollution goals and all sorts of other environmental impacts like that. So that means there's no magic solution to this apart from getting people out of private cars and getting them around the city in different ways.
Disabled and low-income Londoners will still not have to pay. Those living in the zones will still get their 90% discount. But for thousands every day, it'll be another charge driving up costs. Graham Stothard, ITV News.
Still to come on the programme, Michaela Strachan will be here to talk about bringing wildlife to the West End and... From defying a genre to defining galaxies, rock star astrophysicist Sir Brian May on his brand new book. But first, the technology that could help London surgeons operate on patients thousands of miles away without stepping foot outside the capital. A brand new surgical robot has landed at the Royal Free, with its 4 mechanical arms promising more precise procedures and faster recovery times. With each bot costing millions of pounds, securing the technology came solely down to the generosity of public donations, which surgeons say will save lives. Cafe Pater reports.
Meet the future of medicine, the Da Vinci XI. It's a remote-controlled robot that's revolutionising surgery.
So you have a machine which has instruments which have robotic arms, as well as the actual machine itself. But that is all controlled by a surgeon who's in the same room, albeit distant from the patient and not physically touching them.
And does that mean, moving forward as this technology progresses, you could potentially start working from home, do surgery from home?
So the working from home bit already exists, where you can do telesurgery, which means as long as I had that surgeon console in my location, I could be operating on a patient thousands of miles away.
It is a strange concept, one that may seem daunting to begin with, but as Elise will tell you, there's nothing to fear.
Didn't know what to expect, visualise this metal iron robot man, but you know, because I had no idea. But I was willing to go down that route, so I was happy with that.
And well, I'm guessing it went well because
it went well.
Looking well.
Yes, it went well. I was admitted for the surgery, and I was discharged the next day.
Good bedside manner.
Great bedside manner. Didn't speak though.
It is an impressive and expensive piece of tech, worth upwards of £2 million, but the reduction it brings in surgery waiting times here at the Royal Free means it's worth every penny.
We were only able to purchase the robot thanks to the amazing generosity of philanthropists, trusts and foundations across London and beyond. It's always a pleasure when people want to fundraise to say thank you to the NHS, whether that's cake sales, running marathons or just giving their time or money. Surgical robotics is definitely better for patients. You heal faster, you have fewer complications, you get home a lot quicker, which of course is really vital, and it's brilliant for the NHS.
Currently, there's only 2 of these robots at the Royal Free. Of course, doctors like Ravi would appreciate more to help patients like Elise. Kath Opata, ITV News.
Now, from one theatre to another one now, as we go from science to nature. And if you're keen on wildlife, there is a very good chance that you'll recognise this woman.
Now, we don't want you to think that filming orangutans is easy. These guys are into everything. They're extremely inquisitive and mischievous, and camera crews are still quite a novelty around here.
Oh, Oh, for decades, Michaela Strachan has been bringing the wonderful world of wildlife to our screens, and now in a new show, she'll be bringing it to the stage. And she's with me now. Oh, Michaela, those orangutans.
I know, weren't they gorgeous?
Delightful chaos.
Delightful chaos, and they did a very good job of filming, actually.
They did. I feel like they're kind of interviewing for a job. I reckon they could get a job here. How do you do a stage show about wildlife?
Well, I liked your intro when you said we're bringing wildlife to the West End. It does sound like we're bringing a zoo to the West End.
Yeah, are there going to be animals on stage?
No, there's not going to be animals. It's all about storytelling.
Yeah.
And there are 4 female presenters, which I'm really excited about, because we're all sort of wild women that have been filming wildlife for a long time. There's myself, obviously I've been doing it for years. Hannah Stitfall, Lizzie Daly and Megan McCubbin. And they're all hugely popular, not only on television, but also on social media and online. So the 4 of us are going to take to the stage. We've all picked favourite stories that we've done over the years, and we're going to show them, talk about how we make those programmes and how we get those shots. And it's just going to be a really fun, enlightening evening, and I really hope people will come and go out and feel like they've had a really good night of entertainment.
I mean, you've been doing this for nearly 4 decades.
I started very young.
Yes, yes, let's say yes, absolutely. I mean, you must have so many stories to tell. How do you choose from them?
It's been really difficult, actually. But, you know, they have to be pretty self-contained stories that have an extra story with them.
Yes.
Oh, look what you've got there. I'm not telling a story about a rhino, but that's a good shot, isn't it? That was the Antarctic. I mean, I've been all over the world. I've been very, very fortunate, particularly with a programme like The Really Wild Show.
Yes.
Went to 7 continents in 6 months once. So seen some amazing wildlife, met amazing people, and told some great stories.
I mean, you're actually very at home on the stage, aren't you? Because not everybody will know this, but you started out in musical theatre, didn't you?
I did. So I was in the West End 40 years ago doing 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, playing one of the brides. So, yeah, it would be great to go back to the theatre. In between, I've done theatre, I've done pantomime, I've done Walking with Dinosaurs, an arena tour. So, you know, I love getting back on stage. I feel very at home.
And you've done Dancing on Ice,
of course.
You did
Ice.
so well.
Thank you, Yasmin, thank you.
You were amazing. I think we're going to see just a few shots for a few seconds.
The Bolero, yeah, I mean, just amazing, with Mark Hanratty, who is the most lovely partner to be able to ice skate with. And, yeah, we got to do the Bolero, we got to the final, and we came second.
Well, listen, as well as the wildlife, you're a bit of a heartbreaker. I should explain this. A few years ago, the band Scouting for Girls did a song all about you. You're in the title. And then just recently, last year, they serenaded you at a concert in Shepherd's Bush, didn't they, at the Empire. I think we can just have a little listen to that.
Oh, my goodness. That you're showing that. That was probably one of the most surreal evenings of my life.
That is
when
absolutely
1,000 people
amazing.
singing a song, waving their phones at you.
Well, listen, we've got a little surprise. We've got a message for you.
Okay.
Hello, Michaela. It is Roy from Scouting for Girls. You know you have always been our favourite ever since you broke my heart when I was just 12 years old. So excited for your tour. Good luck with that. Hopefully we'll see you when we're on tour at the Roundhouse in London in March. Good luck.
What an angel.
Oh, he loves you, doesn't he?
Well, I've apologised for breaking his heart.
Oh, I bet you have. Well, listen, we've only got a few seconds left, but as you mentioned there, you've got another tour, haven't you? So you've got these few dates and then the spring.
The first one is called A Wild Evening, and we're in London on the 24th at the Cambridge Theatre, and then we're in Cambridge and Guildford, either side of that. And then in April, I'm doing my own show, because it's 40 years in television next year. So I'm doing a show called Not Just a Wildlife that's going on tour for 14 different dates in April. So check out awildevening.co.uk.
Michaela, it is so lovely to speak to you. We've run out of time. Thank you so much.
All go so quickly.
OK, he's most famous for big hair and bigger guitar solos, but Sir Brian May is hoping to top the charts in another field that he's had a lifelong passion for. The Queen guitarist holds a PhD in astrophysics from Imperial College and now has co-written a book which explores the galaxies in 3D for the very first time. Rags Martel went to meet him at the Museum of Brands in Notting Hill.
Let's talk about Islands in Infinity, your book.
Should we do the hard sell?
Yeah. So what's it about?
It's about galaxies. It's subtitled Galaxies 3D. So the universe actually is filled with these things. What astounds me here, this is one of the very latest pictures of a couple of galaxies in deep space. You see, you've got a couple of galaxies here, very beautiful, and you think, well, this is nice star background, right? It's not stars, these are all galaxies. And you're talking about something like 100 billion galaxies in the observable universe, each with billions of stars in.
It's mad. It's almost too much to compute.
You can't take it in, can you? So that's what the book is about, but it's also about seeing them.
And the magic happens with this thing.
I designed this, but I didn't invent 3D. That was Charles Wheatstone in 1832. But this is my little viewer. This is one of the versions of my owl viewer. And
it takes a while to sort of get into view. I did it before. It takes like 10 seconds.
Yeah, there's a technique to it, really. You have to basically relax. That's what it's about. And imagine that you're looking through binoculars to infinity, and you line up on one of these pairs of pictures in the book, like this, and you get to the point where it's in focus, and suddenly, just relaxing, like looking through the book, you will see this in 3D. And I usually get a wow from people, which I love. We're all about wow.
Talk about from stars to the stage. You're still rocking. Last week, was it, with Benson Boone?
Yes.
At the O2, what was that like?
It was a blast, I've got to say. I think Benny Boone is a sensational performer. So for me to get on there and play Bohemian Rhapsody, which I should know how to play by now, it's a joy. That's exactly the kind of stuff I love to do.
Is this the real life?
And Bohemian Rhapsody's 50.
Indeed.
Can you imagine that? Why is it endured so much? Why is it so special? I mean,
it's the big question, isn't it? Why is Bohemian Rhapsody so special? I think it's because it always remains fresh. It's very complex. Great stroke of genius from Freddie, who mapped it all out. I'm not saying we didn't contribute, we did. But, you know, it's a monument to Freddie's imagination, I think.
Have you been listening to any of the AI music? There's actually an AI soul version of Bohemian Rhapsody. Have you heard it?
No,
I've got it here. Do you want to hear it?
Okay.
It's kind of hard to dislike it.
I mean, I think that's very creative from what I can tell. It's not a bad thing, and it's not pretending to be something it's not. I think what's worrying is when you put stuff up which bends the truth.
So what's next for you? Are you going to get back on stage?
Well, I'm taking my time because we've done 50 years of touring. Can't say never, but for now, I'm happy doing the little things that I can do. So I'm a happy man at the moment, and I can see my family. It means a lot.
Superb.
Thank you for being such a good sport and doing it with
I
us.
love it, love it.
This
Thank
is
you,
a true
thank you.
gentleman here.
This is a true legend.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
you.
Thank you so much.
Here's Tori with the weather.
Come rain or shine, Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Hello there, good evening. Yes, there is a lot going on with the weather in the next 24 hours. Storm Claudia is a little bit of an unusual storm. We've just got weather fronts that are stalling, and that's going to give the persistent and heavy rain for a good few of us right the way through tomorrow and into the early hours of Saturday morning potentially. But things then settle down, and it's going to be quite a different feel after that as it turns more settled. But we're also going to see some much chillier weather heading our way into the start of next week. So back to the here and now. Here's Claudia waiting in the wings. It's bringing up all this mild air from the south, bringing in these weather fronts with it, but it's butting into this high pressure that's resisting it from the north. And so because of that, we've got this interface between these two air masses, but there's nowhere really for these weather systems to go. So where you've got the clash is going to stay pretty persistent until it just rains out and burns out of steam, basically. So we are going to see some very persistent rain until we get it out of the way. So this is the area across England and Wales where we're likely to see the heaviest and most persistent of the rainfall, but nonetheless, we're also going to see some pretty gusty winds tucked in there as well. So there's lots going on. Wind, cloud and rain starting to build through the night tonight, turning patchy for a time through the early hours, but with all the residual moisture, expect there to be some pretty poor visibility out there on the roads. Certainly not a chilly night. Temperatures 11 or 12 by first light in the morning, but then we start to see these weather systems converge, and that's when we'll see some more persistent rain settling in through the course of the day, particularly the further north you are. Temperatures again into the mid-teens, and then, as I say, another change as we head through the weekend. Take care.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
And before we go this evening, a plaque celebrating the illustrator that brought Alice through the looking glass and onto the page has been reinstalled in West London after 6 decades in storage. Sir John Tenniel provided the illustrations for Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland in 1865, creating the blueprint for a character that would be reimagined countless times over the years. Well, the plaque celebrating the artist was saved from being tossed in a skip when the building it was on was demolished in 1959. After a painstaking restoration, the green plaque, the first non-blue one in more than 30 years, was placed in its new home in West Kensington.
It is unusual for a plaque to be off the building for this length of time for us to discover that there's somewhere where it can go. So it is exciting, and there has been a lot of interest in it, which is great to see. It's fabulous to be able to look at the old designs as well, with this kind of fabulous victor's laurel wreath that was on them, you know, and to reflect on the history of the plaque scheme, which goes all the way back to 1866. Under the English Heritage Scheme, which covers the whole of Greater London, there are only 2 other plaques that are jade green in colour, similar colour to this. In this case, a lady called Mrs Burgess, who lived at the original house in Maida Vale, asked if it could be green, and the London County Council said yes.
And that's it from us. The evening news is next with Lucrezia, but for now, from all of us on the London team, have a nice evening. Bye-bye.